And after a quick lighting fix because the sun was moving right to my eyes, we can move on to the tips for gather round. Let's go. Adelaide versus Geelong to start us off. I think the Crows will look fantastic. And they looked really good against the Suns again, and they could easily be 4-0 after that umpire decision. Obviously, the Cats have had their down periods. Obviously, they were 1-2. But the win against Melbourne will give them a little bit of momentum coming into this game. However, gather round Adelaide Oval Thursday night. The Crows are up and about, and they'll be looking for blood after what happened on Saturday. And I think they're going to come out really good. The Cats will give them um, a good game for sure. It's not going to be a drubbing, but I think the Crows are going to be hard to beat on Thursday night. So I'm going to give them the win over the Cats by 23 points. Collingwood Sydney Friday night. I spoke before about how I think both of these teams really need this one. Really need this one. Sydney until the weekend against North Melbourne hadn't really shown much of their quality until that point, and that was their first really good win, I thought, of the year. Collingwood, on the other hand, the loss to GWS was pretty poor, and since then in the wins, I don't know if they've necessarily been fantastic. However, they have been getting the wins, which is what you're there to do. Were they fantastic against the Blues? I don't think so. Um, Although I do think the scoreline definitely flattered us. But my point is, I think it showed more about Carlton than it did about Collingwood, if that makes sense. I think these are two pretty evenly matched teams right now. And I think the team that is going to win is Sydney. I think Sydney are going to win this one. I think they just need it that little bit more. Like they're kind of on that edge bit where, as I said, they haven't really shown much until this point, and they really need that win to cement themselves again because they were the best team all year last year, realistically. So we know the quality's there, and I think they're going to get this win by 10 points. So Swans for me there. Gold Coast, North Melbourne. Man, I didn't like what I saw from North in that second half last week at all. I don't know what it does for them going forward this season. The first half was really good. As I said, it was that competitive brand of football that we've seen. But playing like that in the second half and taking that into this week against one of the most informed sides in the comp at Barossa Park, I think this is going to be dirty for North. It's going to be ugly. I think Gold Coast going to win by a lot. And I mean, it's what we've said the last couple of weeks. If North can be competitive, then it's good signs. But I don't know. I don't know. Bad signs after what I saw at the end of last week. I'm going to go Gold Coast by 56 points. Carlton West Coast must win for the Blues. As I said before, are Carlton fans wrong for expecting to win this game? No, because we should be winning this game. West Coast have probably, based on what we've seen, been the worst team in the comp to start the year, realistically. But that being said, you have to look at how Carlton have approached games in the last few weeks and wonder, are they actually up to it? If we're put under pressure by this Eagles team, as stupid and crazy as it sounds, if we're put under pressure by this Eagles team, there's probably half a chance that we fold under the pressure again, based on what I've seen. In saying that, though, I think we're just miles better, aren't we? Aren't we? I don't think it's wrong to say that. I think we win this game pretty comfortably. Will it paper over some cracks? Maybe. I think even if we win this game by a lot, we should be hypercritical of what Carlton dish up in this game. But that being said, I'm expecting a big win. Um, what's overboard and what's conservative here? I don't really know. Let's give Carlton the win by 45 points and just see what happens. But as I said, expect the unexpected with this one because honestly, I just don't know anymore. I really don't. Bulldogs Brisbane at Norwood Oval. It's a crime, an absolute crime that Brisbane are playing at Norwood Oval this weekend. However, it is what it is, and I think they're going to win pretty comfortably based on what I've seen. The Dogs have shown a little bit over the last few weeks. I think they're probably going to show a little bit again. I don't think it's going to be anything too embarrassing for them, but I think, as has been the case over the last few weeks, Brisbane's quality will just shine through. And they'll win this pretty easily. So I'm going to go Brisbane by 27. D's and the Bombers at Adelaide Oval. The D's just again last week weren't impressive in the slightest. I don't think they fixed any of their problems. And as I said in the review before, Essendon, coming off a bye and coming off a win like they had 2 weeks ago, are going to be ready to take this one on. And against the Melbourne team who don't impress me at all, and I don't have any trust that they're going to fix any of those problems heading into this game. I'm going to give the Bombers the win here. So we're going to go Essendon by 20 points. Tigers and the Dockers at Barossa Park. Yeah, the Tigers are going to get smacked silly in this midfield battle. Sarong and Brayshaw, the way they've been playing, it's just going to be Hayden Young might be back as well. So it could be ugly for the Tigers, I think. Do they give it another crack like they have been? Maybe. Maybe it's not a blowout. But I think I'm expecting Freo to win by a fair bit here. Probably in the 40 to 50 range. We'll go Dockers by 48, 8 goals. Saints and the Giants. As I said before, if the Saints win this game, we have to start talking about them properly when it comes to finals and being contenders. And obviously, it's early doors, as we've said. We don't know where this is going to go for them, where it's going to lead to. But if they win this game, there's a strong chance that they're about it this year. However, what I've seen from the Giants in the last few weeks, obviously aside from that Hawthorn loss, which you can excuse given the way Hawthorn are playing, and what I saw from them, especially in that Eagles game, they just ran over the top of them. And I think the amount of momentum that they're going to take out of that will probably make them too much for the Saints. So yeah, I'll bet this one to the Giants by not a lot. I think the Saints will be competitive again, but I think the Giants will do it by 25 points. And we end Gather Round with a massive one. There's going to be a lot of fire in this one. Port Adelaide and Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval on Sunday night. Everything points towards Hawthorn winning this game. Everything points towards Hawthorn winning this game. However, this feels like one of those games, and we see it every year on Anzac Day. We see it in the opening game of the season, or the opening game of round one between Carlton and Richmond. There are certain games where form kind of goes out of the window. And I think whether this is a one-off or whether this becomes a mini rivalry for the years to come, whether this becomes a game that happens every year at Gather Round, irrespective. This game this year, based on what we saw last year and the storyline that's kind of going into it, feels like a game where form is out of the window. Because as I said, I would probably tip Hawthorn 9 out of 10 times here throughout the year. This particular occasion, Port really need the win. There's a bit of venom in it. It's on their home deck. Will Day's out, which is a massive out as well. Obviously, Hawthorn have a fantastic team, but something you have to take into account. I just feel like Port might get the win here. I just feel like they might. Come at me, Hawthorn fans. Port Adelaide are winning this game by a goal. It just feels like that's what is happening here. Doesn't it? Does it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to look stupid. I wouldn't be surprised if I look stupid because Hawthorn are really good. But it's just one of those games. It just is. And I think Port are going to be up for it. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. That's for sure.